The world's biggest serial killer might never have been caught if he had known how to use a computer. Imagine a person who is a serial killer, yet also a friend to his victims, a well-known figure in the town, and on top of that, a doctor. This astonishing story is about Dr. Harold Shipman, who didn't use his clinic to save lives, but to take them. In the small town of Hyde, England, with a population of just 30,000, Dr. Shipman carried out his killings for 23 years right under everyone's noses. He put more than 250 people to death, yet no one suspected him. He might have never been caught if it weren't for one small mistake. Why was Dr. Shipman killing people? How did he manage to go undetected for so long? And what clue did the police find that uncovered years of murder in a single moment? Welcome back to another video on Fusion Arc. Today, we are going to dive into the story of Dr. Harold Shipman, a man who targeted his patients to kill them. Shipman mostly targeted elderly patients who lived alone and whose deaths wouldn't raise suspicion. He spent time with them, visited their homes, listened to their troubles, and made them feel they weren't alone. Some even trusted him enough to give him the keys to their homes. His kind nature made him well known in Hyde, as people believed he truly cared for the elderly. But behind this mask, he was secretly learning which patients were alone, wealthy, and vulnerable. Once he was satisfied with the information, he would overdose his patients with medication, often morphine, to kill them. Because his victims were already in their 80s, no one questioned their deaths. This continued for years without anyone suspecting him, until he finally made a mistake. Dr. Shipman started his career in the town of Pontefract, about 70 kilometers from Hyde. In 1974, he moved to Todmorden and joined a medical center as a general practitioner. It was during this time that he became addicted to pethidine, a powerful painkiller, and would often prescribe it in higher than necessary amounts to his patients. His addiction cost him his job, and nearly his medical license, but after a short stint in rehab, he returned to Hyde in 1977 and began working as a GP once again. By 1993, he opened his own clinic and had built a good reputation, but the frequency of his murders increased significantly. Over the next few years, no one questioned the suspicious deaths until Dr. Linda Reynolds, who worked in a hospital near Shipman's clinic, noticed something unusual. In March 1998, Dr. Reynolds raised concerns that 16 of Shipman's patients had died in just 3 months. She found it strange that Shipman, who had a smaller clinic, had more deaths than her own hospital, which had 3 times the number of patients. Further investigation revealed that all 16 patients had been cremated rather than buried. In most Christian families, it is customary to bury the deceased, so the cremation of these patients raised alarms. Dr. Reynolds reported her suspicions to the Manchester coroner, stating that most of the deceased were elderly women who had died at home. Curiously, in many cases, Shipman was the last person to see them alive. The police initiated an investigation but found no solid evidence against Shipman, and the case was closed. However, after the deaths of 3 more people, Shipman's downfall came when he killed his final victim, Kathleen Grundy, the former mayor of Hyde. Kathleen's daughter, Angela Woodruff, a lawyer herself, became suspicious when she found her mother's will, which left her house to Dr. Shipman. Angela knew her mother had 2 homes, but only one was mentioned in the will, suggesting that whoever wrote it wasn't aware of the second house. Angela took her suspicions to the police, and an investigation was launched. Kathleen's body was exhumed, and traces of heroin, or diamorphine, were found in her system. When questioned, Shipman claimed that Kathleen had been a heroin addict, and he had noted this in her medical records. However, Shipman didn't realize that computers automatically save the last edit date of files. The police found that he had added the note after her death. Additionally, the typewriter used to create the fake will was found in Shipman's possession, with some characters malfunctioning, which matched the errors in the forged will. On September 7, 1998, Dr. Harold Shipman was arrested. After his arrest, families of his other victims came forward. An inquiry revealed that he had murdered at least 218 patients, though some estimates suggest the number could be as high as 260. In the end, Shipman was sentenced to life imprisonment, but in 2004, he hanged himself in his cell. After his death, a fellow inmate claimed that Shipman had confessed to killing not 260, but 508 people. Although the exact reason for Shipman's killing spree is still unknown, Some experts believe it may be linked to the death of his mother, who was also a cancer patient and treated with morphine. It is believed that Shipman may have wanted to relive the moment of watching someone die under the influence of morphine. Thank you for watching this video on Fusion Arc. Please like and share if you found it interesting, and leave your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.